Hi, I'm Weslyn, and this is going to be my January wrap-up. So we're going to start with the books that I was able to finish in January, starting with Fortune Telling by Cards by Professor P.R.S. Foley. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my reading spreadsheet on my computer. So Fortune Telling by Cards is a book published in the early 20th century about using playing cards as a method of fortune telling. So it goes through a variety of antiquated methods of reading playing cards. So I read that on my Kindle, so I don't have it physically, unfortunately. The next book that I finished is Tarot by the Moon by Victoria Constantino. This book goes through all of the moons of the year starting in January and gives you spreads and spells for each moon. This is one that I've had for a while and had been interested in reading and just never picked it up, but since I want to use a lot of the spreads from it this year, I figured I would go ahead and read through it. The third and final book that I finished in January is Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So Radical Acceptance is a, well, as it says on the cover, embracing your life with the heart of a Buddha. So this book is about what it means to be human and being aware of the fact that we are all human. It talks about really accepting humanity as it is, not necessarily not taking action and not doing things, but really thinking about something before you do it and accepting the situation for what it is before you make decisions and take action. Highly recommend this. It was a really beautiful read. I tabbed quite a few things in here. I like to match my tabs to my book. So I tabbed all the meditations that are in here. Those are going to be the pastel light blue tabs. And then the teal blue tabs are quotes that I really enjoyed. And then the brown tabs are things that I thought would be useful to me right now. So those were the 3 books that I was able to finish. And then moving into stuff that I am still reading. So moving on to books that I am still reading that were on my January TBR that I didn't post, alas. So we're gonna start with A Little Life. So I started reading A Little Life last January with a couple of friends. Said friends never continued reading, therefore I never continued reading. I read about the first 100 pages of this, and then I put it down and never picked it back up. I enjoyed that first 100 pages, but because my friends didn't continue, I didn't feel compelled to continue with this. That being said, finally decided that I wanted to clear through my currently reading on Goodreads, and this was on there, so I decided to pick it back up. You can see I'm about halfway now, a little under halfway actually. So I read maybe another 200-ish pages of this, maybe a little more than that, in January of this year, and have really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to finishing this one, hopefully in February. We'll see. And then next up, off of my TBR, I am reading Flowers in the Attic by B.C. Andrews. This is my first time reading Flowers in the Attic. I'm not very far into it. Just about... My dog is in my lap, by the way. I'm 127 pages into this. So... No, she's not in my lap. Anyway, go on. So I'm about 127 pages into this. I'm really enjoying the writing. I know a little bit about Flowers in the Attic because I have seen a movie adaptation of it. So I know about the incest. It starts pretty early on in the book. So if you're not familiar, B.C. Andrews is like, some people label this horror. I feel like it's more just like gothic fiction. That's how I have it shelved in my library. But really enjoying the writing style, straight into it. In the prologue, I already tabbed a quote that I really enjoyed. I haven't come across any others just yet. But the prologue is written from like an older child's perspective, so I feel like right now we're still in like that young adult mindset. So the writing is not quite as profound just yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading this and continuing this series. So hopefully I will finish this in February as well. And then, not on my TBR, but something that I am currently reading is Bayou Folk and a Night in Acadie by Kate Chopin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly or not. It could be Chopin. I don't know. She's from New Orleans. So, anyway, reading this. I started reading this last summer. It is a short story collection. I'm a little under halfway through, and I really enjoy Kate Chopin's writing. The Awakening was one of my favorite books as a student in high school. It's a book that I really enjoyed, and one that I think everyone should read if they are interested in classic literature. So I wanted to read more from her, so I picked up this collection last summer and just never finished it. So reading that, and then a book that is on my TBR that I haven't finished and I don't have physically is Evil in Me by Brahm. I received this as an ARC through NetGalley last year when it came out, or before it came out, and forgot about it. Never picked it up. I have only read through the first chapter or prologue, I can't remember which, of this book. I have not picked it up since then, but I really enjoyed that first part, and I'm looking forward to continuing it and, again, hopefully finishing it in February. So next thing we are going to go over are the books that I purchased in January. I took part in the 50% off hardcover sale for Barnes & Noble, so there are quite a few hardcovers here that I ordered. Probably at the end of December, before January even started, but I count books as I receive them, not as I buy them. So all of these books are books that arrived to me in January, so I'm counting them as January purchases. So first up on my January transactions list is Edenville by Sam Rebeline? I don't know. So Edenville. I don't remember much about this. An unsettling, immersive, and wildly entertaining debut novel from an exciting new voice in horror fans for Paul Tremblay and Stephen Graham Jones. I have never read from either of those authors. There are some Stephen Graham Jones books in this list, so hopefully I enjoy either of those authors, at least Stephen Graham Jones, because I have quite a few of his books. So then the next three books that I bought were the Psy Changeling series, the first three by Nalini Singh. So I have Slave to Sensation, Visions of Heat, and Caressed by Ice. So first three in the Psy Changeling series. Last year I read story 3.5 in the Psy Changeling series, in a short story anthology that I was reading, and I really enjoyed it. It literally had me cackling. I loved the way it was written. I really enjoyed the story for it being so short. I really enjoyed the story. It was so fun to read, and it made me immediately want to know more about the other characters and continue the series. So I picked up the first three off of eBay. The next two books are the third and fourth in the Inheritance cycle by Christopher Paolini. So I have Brisingar and Inheritance. These are both hardcover first editions that I picked up from a thrift store. So we have Brisingar, which I had in a paperback, which I do have for sale on Depop and on my website. And then Inheritance, which I did not have a copy of this initially, so I'm really glad to have one that matches my first and second books in this series. And each one has like a map in it. So I'm really excited to eventually get to these. I have never read any of the inheritance cycle. So, excited about that. And then we are back into the Barnes & Noble 50% off hardbacks that I ordered probably in December. So next is Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch by Cody Crowley. This says, they think they killed a girl. They only made a monster. That's really enough for me to want to buy it because I'm here for female rage. So that was enough for me. The title was enough for me, to be honest. It got me intrigued. So I can't wait. And then next up is Eric LaRocca's The Skin Was Once Mine and Other Disturbances. So I have never read anything from Eric LaRocca. At least I don't think I have. I might have. I don't remember. But anyway, I really would like to read from Eric LaRocca, so I picked up this book. I think... I'm trying to think who I saw read this. Maybe Kitty from Spicy Cats? Anyway, I know Kitty really likes Eric LaRocca, and I wanted to pick up some Eric LaRocca for myself. And I saw this one on the 50% off hardbacks and was like, yes, please. I will take that. This one I'm probably going to butcher the name on, and I can't be bothered to look up the pronunciation, so we're just gonna go with it. And that is Ghost Roots, which is a collection of stories by Pimi Aguda? I don't know. Anyway, collection of short stories, 12 imaginative stories set in Lagos, Nigeria. So these are all based on Nigerian mythology, I believe. Nigerian society. Yeah. So I believe the author, Pimi Aguda, is an MFA graduate. She's from Lagos, Nigeria. So, yeah. Next up, I forgot to take the sticker off of this book, but we're just going to roll with it, is Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. I have the first book, My Heart is a Chainsaw, up there on a shelf that you can't see. So this is the second book in the Indian Lake trilogy. Yeah, the Indian Lake trilogy. Like I said, I haven't read anything from Stephen Graham Jones. I have a soft spot for Native American authors, Native American fiction. So here we are. I'm continuing this series because I have faith that I'm really going to like Stephen Graham Jones. That being said, I also have the third book in the Indian Lake trilogy, which is The Angel of Indian Lake. I don't know anything about this series, and I don't really want to know anything about this series, but I now have all 3 books in the trilogy. And then let's just say hello to the dog who won't stay out of the picture. Won't stay out of my lap. Go over there, please. Okay, so I think the last of the hardbacks that I bought in that 50% off sale is The Ghost Cat by Alex Howard. This is about a cat in Edinburgh, I believe. Yeah, Grimalkin, witnessing the next 100 years. So, it's about a cat in Edinburgh, and that was enough for me. Ghost cat. Ghost cat. So then we have 4 books in the Sookie Stackhouse series. So we have Dead Until Dark, Living Dead in Dallas, Club Dead, and then I'm mad that this is a library edition and it's a hardcover instead of the mass market paperbacks that I was trying to buy. But Dead to the World. So I have this as well. So that's that series. And then a late Christmas present from one of my amazing friends is Bunny by Mona Awad. I know it's weird and I'm excited about it. Give me a weird book. The weirder the better. Hopefully my stack doesn't fall over. Like, you can kind of see the top of it now. So then I recently went to Barnes & Noble and browsed a lot of their sale books. So I got quite a few, 2 off of the buy one get one 50% off tables, and then 2 that were just already 50% off. So the first one is Voices of the Wind. This is a Native American Legends anthology by Margot Edmonds and Ella Clark. This is like an older anthology, originally published in 1989. I have already expressed that I really like Native American stories, and any Native American legends I really appreciate. I prefer an Own Voices story, but this was like a few dollars. It was under $10, so I just went ahead and picked it up. Yeah, not much else to say about that. And then next is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is another one that like I've seen around a lot. I know the system, like the magic system, is like based on cards or something. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and it seemed interesting. It seemed like something I would like, so I went ahead and picked up the first book. And then another one that I've heard some people talk about is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. Yeah. I really like Japanese translated fiction. It's something that I really enjoy. I don't know. It's slice of life-ish, but not in a way that bores me. Because like I do enjoy slice of life stuff, but I feel like it needs to be philosophical in some way, and I feel like this is going to do that. So I'm looking forward to reading it. And then another Native American fiction book, A Council of Dolls by Mona Suzanne Power. I don't know. This is told through like the dolls of the girls in this book, or told from their perspective or something like that. Told in part through the stories of the dolls they carried. So it's told from the perspective of Sissy, born in 1961, Lillian, born in 1925, and Cora, born in 1888. Yeah, Mona Suzanne Power. She's an enrolled member of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. So, yeah, Own Voices, which I really appreciate. I try to read more from Own Voices authors than anyone else. And then the last book that I picked up yesterday, actually, is The Bungalow Mystery, which is one of the Nancy Drew mystery stories. This is number 3. I have a collection of these yellow hardcover editions of the Nancy Drew mystery stories. I've been collecting them for years. I don't have very many of them right now. I think when I was a kid, I got numbers like 51, 2, and 3. I don't know, but it just spawned this need to collect all of the hardcover yellow editions. So I picked this up for $1 at the thrift yesterday. So those are all of the books that I have purchased in the month of January. Well, we'll go with acquired. I've acquired all of these in the month of January because one of them was gifted. So we're gonna roll with that. So then the next thing I would like to go ahead and talk about is my TBR for February. So I'm participating in the Adventures in Aldea readathon by G from Book Roast, which is part of the Magical Readathon. I really enjoy that. That's probably my favorite readathon that I've done besides the Bookoplathon by Becca and the Books. So that being said, I am reading 1 book per month for Adventures in Aldea. The first book was a book published in 2024, so I'm reading Evil in Me for that. But for February, the prompt that I'm going with is to pick a book from the bottom shelf of your bookshelf. So I went in every room of my house that has books in it, and I looked at the bottom shelf, of every bookcase to pick a book. So I decided, just because it made sense, I am going to continue on with my Twilight reread and pick up New Moon. So we'll be reading New Moon for Adventures in Eldia. And then for the rest of the books on my TBR, I would like to finish The Flounder by Günter Grass. I started reading this book, who knows when. I don't remember when I started reading this book, but I know I was enjoying it when I was actively reading it. I feel like I started reading this in 2023 and just never finished it. Some people would give up at that point, but like, I remember what it was about. I remember what was going on. So I'm really excited to pick it back up and finish it. Hopefully February will be that month. If not, we'll just keep trucking. We'll just keep trying. So The Flounder, and then I would also like to finish As the Last Leaf Falls. I have been reading this already today. It's one that I started again last year, and just never finished. I'm really hopeful that I can finish this. I've been kind of in a nonfiction mood, so I've been only reading nonfiction with a little bit of fiction sprinkled in here and there. I've only finished nonfiction this year. So anyway, I would like to finish this. And then the last book on my TBR that I don't own physically, but I do have on my Kindle, is The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. The Hellbound Heart is the Hellraiser book. I've never read anything from Clive Barker, which is ironic because I have a collection of Clive Barker books. It's one of those authors that I was just like, I know I'm gonna like them, so I'm gonna buy all the Clive Barker books I find. So that's what I did. Especially secondhand. Anytime I found a secondhand Clive Barker book, I went ahead and picked it up. So I have a whole collection of Clive Barker, and I would like to get started on that since I've owned The Hellbound Heart on my Kindle for many, many years. So that is all I have for you today. Please like, subscribe if you would like to see more from me. I am also a tarot card enthusiast, so I believe my next video is going to be a collection of my my decks. So if you are interested in seeing that, definitely stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. Bye.